One day, while killing giant rad scorpions, good old Three Dog comes on the radio.
GNR, Three Dog, all you need to know. Here's a question for all you faithful listeners. Have you guys and gals ever seen a tree? No, not those shriveled black things. I'm talking real trees. Brown bark, green leaves, photosynthesis, all that good stuff. Now what if I, the all-powerful Three Dog, Bow Wow Wow, were to tell you that somewhere right here in the Capital Wasteland, there's a place with lots of trees. A veritable oasis of green in that depressing sea of brown. Look, it was years ago, and I may have been experimenting with Jet at the time. But I'm telling you, it's out there. Thanks for listening, children. This is Three Dog, ow! And you're listening to Galaxy News Radio. We're Radio Free Wasteland, and we're here for you.
Trees? In the Capital Wasteland? Three Dog, have you gone mad? But then we remember the coordinates we got from the homicidal drifter at the Dickerson Tabernacle Chapel, a video I did that you can watch here. The coordinates on his inventory pointed to a location far to the north called Oasis. Could Three Dog's rumor be true? Could there really be living trees at this oasis? To find out, we follow the coordinates northeast of Broadcast Tower LP8. After a while, we stumble upon something that we in our 19 years of life on this earth have never seen before. A green bush. We've seen green glowing fungus and plants that were green due to nuclear radiation, but a green plant that's green not because of radiation, but because it's still alive? And then turning east, we find a path into the rocks dotted with more green plants. Not only these small bushes, but vines growing along the cavern floor. Continuing east, the path takes us up into a canyon, and here the green bushes just get bigger. We pass bush after bush until, rounding a corner, we see huge, beautiful green trees. We've discovered the entrance to Oasis, and it's being guarded by two very peculiar-looking people.
Outsider, you have arrived. Please, come closer. I have something of the utmost urgency to speak to you about. Do hurry. He doesn't like to be kept waiting.
Walking closer.
I'm so glad you're here. It's been a while since anyone's visited us, and he's been waiting for someone like yourself to arrive. If you wouldn't mind following me, I'll bring you right to him.
Ha ha ha! What the hell are you wearing?
I'm wearing the clothes of a tree minder. We shed our wasteland garments like the ones you're wearing long ago.
I'm not following anyone. I need to be on my way.
I can promise you that if you leave, you'll be missing out on a great honor. Not many have even seen him before, and yet he wants to speak to you.
Whoa, slow down, old man. What the hell are you babbling about?
I'm sorry. In my excitement, I got ahead of myself. I'm Tree Father Birch, and I have the great fortune of being the leader of his people, the Tree Minders. Beyond that gate is our home, Oasis.
The Tree Minders?
Yes, we're the Tree Minders. We're his people. If you'll just follow me inside, to the pavilion, all will be explained.
Who's waiting for me inside?
Why, he is, of course.
No way! You're obviously out of your mind.
I'm very saddened to hear that. A great opportunity like this may come only once in a lifetime. If you wish to return and speak to me, talk to Branch Tender Maple. She'll allow you to go inside. All I ask is you keep our existence a secret. Too many out there in the wasteland would seek to exploit him. Farewell.
If we choose to say no, Tree Father Birch goes back inside, but this guard over here stays put. We can always check in with Branch Tender Maple.
Welcome to Oasis, Outsider. Have you changed your mind, Outsider? Do you want to speak with Tree Father Birch?
I don't suppose there's more you can tell me about Oasis.
Sorry, I believe that duty lay with Tree Father Birch.
Or instead of saying no, we can say, "Okay, Father Birch, I'll follow you. Lead on."
Excellent. Please follow me. All will be explained soon.
And with that, Tree Father Birch leads us to the main gate of Oasis. On the other side of the gate, we arrive at an opening in a forest. Torches are scattered around. We see a gazebo in the middle of the clearing, and we discover that Tree Father Birch is not alone. We find many more members of his order, the Tree Minders, wandering around. Tree Father Birch sits on a throne made of sticks. The other Tree Minders don't say much at this point.
Welcome to Oasis, outsider. We hope you'll find peace among us.
Revel, outsider, for he has chosen you.
So heading to the throne, we can talk with Tree Father Birch.
You have no idea how overjoyed I am to see you. Normally, outsiders are forbidden inside Oasis, but he has made an exception.
This place is weird. Where do you plug stuff in?
We no longer use devices like that. We cast our technology away many years ago.
This place scares me. It's so different.
What you call scared, I call humbled. This place is a blessing to all of us.
If we have the Animal Friend perk, we find an option here to say, "Amazing, this place seems so abundant with animal life."
The innocent creatures are drawn here by his gifts. They come from across the wasteland to live in this sanctuary. This part of the world is healing, my friend, and it's all thanks to him.
We don't see many animals here, though we do hear birds chirping. Perhaps those are the animals he speaks of here. Or if we have the Life Giver perk, we find an option to say, "I can't explain it, but I can feel this place just teeming with life."
That's his power you feel, outsider. With his outstretched limbs, he shelters us and keeps us safe.
Or if we don't have either of those perks, we can continue by saying, "I've never seen any place like this."
No, I suppose you haven't. In fact, few who live outside of Oasis have. Everything you see around you, from the tallest tree to the smallest blade of grass, is a gift from him.
He has the same responses to all three of these top options, and during this quest we find many options that get the same response. So from here on, I'll only explore the options that garner a different response. The way you're saying him, I could swear you're referring to a god.
He's no mere god, my friend.
Can you just cut the him crap already and just tell me who he is?
He is the one who grows. He is the one who gives. And he is the one who guides. No one speaks his name out of reverence for his majesty. Thanks to him, the Tree Minders have a home.
We can pass a speech check to say I may be willing to help, but I need straight answers about who he is.
I would have preferred that he made the introduction, but I understand your hesitation. The Great One is a God tree. A living, breathing, speaking God tree. The Tree Minders are blessed to have this being watch over us.
I think you're a bunch of lunatics.
I don't expect you to understand everything you see here. After all, you carry the taint of technology upon you.
Tree Minders, huh? That's a strange name.
Is it so strange to care for one's home and keep it safe from those who would seek to exploit it?
Why do you call yourselves the Tree Minders?
We care for this place and keep it safe from those who would seek to exploit it. He gives to us, so we give back to him. It's an arrangement that's worked well for almost 2 decades. We shun technology and embrace nature. That's the life of a Tree Minder.
Yeah, sure. I guess that's why Maple stuck a rifle in my face.
Listen, my friend, I will forgive your insolent tone because he has asked to see you. But make no mistake, if you wish to cause trouble here, we have the means to defend ourselves.
If you hate technology, then why are you carrying weapons?
Sadly, the wasteland is a hostile place, and sometimes we're forced to defend ourselves against it. If that means fighting with manufactured weapons, then so be it. Had he not asked to see you, you never would have gotten this close to the gates.
Which brings us to why I'm here, I suppose.
Yes, indeed it does. Sorry, I don't speak to outsiders very often, and I tend to get lost in conversation.
Fine. Get to the point already.
You have much to learn about patience, my friend. However, you are correct. I will get to the point. As you approached Oasis, he said you were coming, and I was sent out to meet you personally with a request. He wishes to meet with you. You'd be the first outsider to do so in a very long time.
I would be honored to meet this person.
Yes, person. To meet him, you must undergo the ceremony of purification. Once that's complete, you'll be able to speak to him. Whenever you're ready, we may begin.
Hang on, you never said anything about a ceremony.
There's no reason to be alarmed.
Just a minute, what does this ceremony involve?
It's simple, really. You drink the sap from the basin here in the pavilion. The sap will purify your mind and body of anything harmful that could possibly hurt him. I assure you, nothing harmful will happen to you.
Can't we skip all this nonsense?
I'm afraid not. No one gets to see him without first drinking the sap from the basin here in the pavilion.
Forget this whole thing. This is insane.
Then you are free to go. He had requested to see you, but he said not to take you against your will. It saddens me greatly you don't wish to see him, but you must follow your own path. If you change your mind, come speak to me, and we'll begin again.
We can always back out and say, could we just wait a bit? I'm not quite ready.
I understand, my friend. Preparing to meet him takes much preparation and soul-searching. You may walk about Oasis as you see fit, but please don't take too long. When you're ready to undergo the ceremony, just ask.
But when we are ready, we can say, okay, let's begin the ceremony.
Very good. Take your place in front of the basin, and let's begin.
With that, we begin the quest, Oasis. Tree Father Birch heads to a stump in the middle of the gazebo, and the other tree minders all circle around. This stump is the Basin of Purification, and momentarily, Tree Father Birch tells us how to proceed.
Please, drink the sap from the basin.
The Basin of Purification is filled with some sort of thick, viscous sap. If we choose to drink the sap,
we will now recite the blessing to ward off any harm the outsider may be carrying before he proceeds to the grove.
I bid you depart, agents of destruction, through the power of his divine will.
Leave our homes and bodies immediately. Live no longer in them, but pass over into places where you can harm no one.
In the name of his frondescence, I call his wrath upon you, so that wherever you may go, you bear it with you.
And, diminishing from day to day, you may disappear, except where you serve the health and good purposes of mankind. May no trace of you be found.
All this, may he be so good as to grant us, who is to come to judge the living and the dead, and the world by his verdure.
Amen. Soon, you will pass peacefully into sleep, outsider. And when you awake, you will witness his glory firsthand.
we awaken in another beautiful clearing, but there's no sign of the tree minders. We see a gate behind us that must lead back to the gazebo, but we can't pass through. It requires a key. Well, maybe we can find some other way out of here. We see small pools of water dotting the clearing, and despite the lush greenery around us, this water is still irradiated. How could so many trees be living on irradiated water? Continuing to explore, and we see more bushes, glowing fungus. There's one big gnarled tree in the middle of Oasis. Oh, as we move around to the other side, we see that this tree has a face, and it's moving. Stepping closer, we can discern the figure of a man in there. His legs and right arm are rooted to the ground. His left arm is tucked into his torso as if he's clutching a wound. His right eye is sealed shut, and his lips appear to have rotted away or have been peeled back. When ready, we can talk to the talking tree.
Glad to see you're finally awake. I can't believe they made you do that stupid ceremony. They listen when I talk. but they don't hear. You know what I mean?
I must be dreaming.
I wish I was too. Then me and Herbert could be the best of friends and live side by side. He's the tree, see? We're old pals, the best of buddies. And we know each other, inside and out. Literally.
Okay, what's the trick? I know there's got to be a guy with a microphone hiding somewhere.
Where? You mean in here? Nah, it's just me and Herbert. He's the tree.
I've never seen a talking tree before.
Neither have I. Well, I talked to Herbert, but he never really says anything back. Do you, Herbert? He kept growing around me. Maybe for calling him Herbert all the time. His name's really Bob. I think it's funny when I call him Herbert, though.
What in the hell are you talking about?
Not very bright, are you?
Well, so wait a minute. You're trapped in there inside this Bob thing?
Well, I suppose you could look at it that way.
I'm beginning to suspect that you weren't always this way.
Well, you're quite clever. See, Bob used to ride around on top of my head. Sunk his roots right in there, you know. Well, eventually he got bigger than me, and then I pretty much ended up inside.
I still don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
Yes. Perhaps it doesn't even matter anyway. Forget I mentioned it.
How did a tree end up growing out of your head?
It was a long time ago. I tend to lose track. I was exploring some sort of a military base with some other people. I think it was called Mariposa. Mariposa. We were pretty deep inside and we found some weird vats of this nasty green goo. Right when we were about to leave, I think we were attacked. Yeah. Last thing I remember before blacking out was something knocking my friend into the stuff.
Now, the lone wanderer will have no idea what this tree is talking about. But at this point, we might have a recollection of hearing that story once before. Well, hopefully your troubles will be over. I'm here to help.
You have no idea how glad I am to hear that. Or we're glad to hear that. Me and Bob. I had you brought in here to ask a very simple favor. Would you please kill me?
What? You want me to murder you?
Oh, no. It wouldn't be murder. You'd be doing me a favor.
Kill you? You can't be serious.
Completely serious. You'd be doing me a favor. You see, I've been stuck here for over 2 decades now, rooted right into the ground. The only friends I've got are Bob and those weirdos out there who think I'm a god.
Sure. Where do you want the bullet? Head or gut?
I wish it was that simple. No. There's only one way you're gonna be able to do this for me.
How would I be able to kill you? You're a tree.
How to put this? I've been feeling rather spread out lately. I think Bob's kinda shoved my insides around some. It's hard to tell where everything is, but it's always that way with one's insides, isn't it? Anyway, I believe Bob's carried some of my organs into his root system. I want you to go underground and destroy my heart.
Why don't you just kill yourself?
Now, how exactly am I supposed to do that? I can barely move anymore. Thanks to Bob, I'm obviously not going to be doing anything for a very long time.
If I kill you, the tree minders will come after me.
Oh, no, don't worry about them. When you decide to go down there, I'll have a little chat with Birch and the rest of the gang. They usually don't understand a word I say, but I'll make them come around.
I'm not a charity. You want to die? Cough up some caps.
Well, I used to carry those pesky caps a long time ago, but I think my pockets are in those shrubs over yonder. I'm pretty sure the caves below me are full of all kinds of nifty gizmos you can take on your way to my heart. Help yourself.
Look, I really don't want to kill you.
Of all the wastelanders I had to bump into, it has to be one with a conscience.
Can I have some time to think about it?
Oh, of course. I know this is an unusual request, but hey, I'm an unusual tree, huh? Well, Bob is. Anyway, we'll just keep it an open invitation then. I don't want to wait until the next person visits. It could be years. You're all I've got. Just think about it, okay?
He really sounds desperate. Okay, I'll do it.
You will? Oh, you made us so happy. Oh, isn't that right, Bob? Just give me a little time to say goodbye to good old Bob, and then I'll be ready.
Well, goodbye for now then, Herbert. Or was it Bob?
No. Herbert is the tree. Bob is his real name, but I call him Herbert because I think it's pretty funny. But I'm still in here too. What's left of me? The name's Harold.
Harold? And with that, it all comes rushing back.
I got mutated. Sure wasn't born this ugly. Happened when we tried to find out where all the mutants were coming from. All started with the sirens. I was young, but oh, I do remember that. A lot of terrible years followed. And I remember walking out of the vault late one morning. We mounted an expedition. God, Richard Gray led a small group of us up there. Richard Gray was a doctor, a little older than me, and Fran was he smart. He found the source, some sort of old military base. We lost a lot of folks getting in there. We made it to some sort of central core, like a plant of some sort. That's when it happened. A robot crane crashed into us. Last I saw Gray, he was flying through the air and into some sort of acid bath. I was in bad shape and, well, I passed out.
This is Harold, the very same Harold we met during the events of Fallout 1. The lone wanderer won't remember him, of course, but we, the player, remember him. It was Harold who wandered with Richard Gray who became the Master. Harold got his mutation by being splashed with the same FEV inside Mariposa that turned Richard Gray into the Master. Only Harold escaped, made his way to the hub, and began to mutate.
Jealous? His name's Herbert. I talk to him when I get lonely. Just kidding. His name's Bob.
When we met him years later at Gecko during the events of Fallout 2, he had already begun to exhibit symptoms of his current tree-like predicament. Then, by the time of the events of Fallout Tactics, we learned that Harold had migrated from the West Coast to the town of Quincy in Illinois, assuming that the Harold we find there is the same Harold we found on the West Coast. It is possible that Tactics is not canonical. He must have continued wandering east, eventually reaching the Capital Wasteland until the overgrowth of Bob, or Herbert, caused him to take root here. It looks like his mutation never stopped, and he mutated in a very different way than other people infected with FEV. He didn't turn into a super mutant, but he did become immortal, or at least developed a longer than human lifespan, especially if we find him here 200 years after the apocalypse. He was already old when we met him at the hub during the events of Fallout 1. This gives us even more context to exactly how horrible his current predicament is. His mutation has caused him to literally take root, and he is now faced with spending an eternity here with no one for company but those doggone tree minders. We begin to understand exactly why Harold wants us to kill him, but now we have a hard choice. Should we really kill Harold, or do we have other options? We need to talk with the other tree minders. We'll chat with each and every one of them in my next episode. I publish many new Fallout videos each week, so if you don't want to miss the next episode, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. I have a shirt shop with completely unique designs you can't find anywhere else. My designs come in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find my designs on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with the continuation of Harold's story here at Oasis.
Cast aside your bits of technology and marvel at his miracles outside of